What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro the Black Series Yoda and Clone Commander Gree from the Clones of the Republic subline. This is Hasbro's second installment with the recent program that Disney has been doing called the Clones of the Republic. Essentially what they do at the parks is they pick a clone trooper, they give them a life-size helmet, sometimes they give them an action figure like a 12-inch figure, and then Hasbro partakes by making a 2-pack of figures with that clone trooper and their corresponding Jedi General. Obviously, Clone Commander Gree was chosen for the second edition of this program. However, with everything else with Commander Gree, it was the Revenge of the Sith look where he's on Kashyyyk. However, in this case, they decided to go with a much more plain look for the armor, that being something that was easier for them to do without making the figure deluxe for the paint applications. And in this particular instance, you can see they chose a version of a comic book version of Commander Gree here, which is why you might not recognize him. He's got basically his markings from his Phase 1 look in the Clone Wars, except with that Phase 2 helmet. And we get Yoda. So this is technically the first prequel Yoda that the Black Series has gotten, and if you look in the box here, he's got some awesome accessories that I'm really excited to take a look at. But before we do that, let's first take a look at the packaging. So this is the 2-pack style packaging they seem to be doing for the Clones of the Republic subline, and this was exclusive to Hasbro Pulse and Disney Parks, by the way. Up at the top here, you have the Black Series logo, a nice big plastic window showing you both figures and all their accessories. Down in this very light blue color, you have the Clones of the Republic subline name, you have the characters' names down at the bottom, and then on either side you have like a tapered edge here. One has Grandmaster Yoda in his chair in the Jedi Council room, and the other one here is your Clone Commander Gree. You have the characters' names down at the bottom there as well. On the back of the box, you have the same thing, the Black Series logo. You have those images we saw on the side of the box of the characters. They're blown up quite a bit here. You have the characters' names, and you have a bio in about 1,000 different languages. This bio reads, "Small in size, but wise and powerful. Jedi Master Yoda played an integral role in the Clone Wars, including briefly commanding a subunit of the 41st Elite Corps on Kashyyyk. Clone Commander Gree, designation 1004, assisted Yoda as second in command until Order 66 was enacted." Down here you have, this is number 2 for the Clones of the Republic subline. At the bottom here we have all your legalese. Please guys, don't feed these action figures to your babies. On the bottom of the box we have even more legalese, and on the top, nothing. So that about covers the packaging. Let's get these guys open so we can check them out. Alright, here is everything out of the box, and before we even get started, I really just have to commend Hasbro for the amount of accessories that Yoda comes with. This felt deluxe, this felt next level while opening this, and I'm really happy with it. So before we take a look at the figures, let's take a look at all those accessories. We'll start with Yoda here. So one of the first things that Yoda comes with is actually a swappable head, and that's a super cool feature that you don't see a lot in the Black Series. This is Yoda's angry expression. The eyes are painted really well. You can see the green irises. The photo reel looks awesome. I love the shade of green. There's a wash that's been given to the wrinkles on the top of the head to really bring out that detail, and the hair is painted very nicely too. Very wispy, as it should be. This is awesome. You can see the little socket down there to swap the head. We'll see how easy that is later, but this is probably going to be the head option I go with because this is going to be a prequel Yoda. Next, let's take a look at a huge accessory. This is a huge thing that used to be a thing people would hold over the Black Series collectors' heads that had SH figure arts. It was the Jedi Council chair. So this Jedi Council chair is very plain. It is done in just some gray plastic. However, there's this like squishier material that the upholstered part of the seat is made of, and you can see that it's been glued onto the rest of it. I like this material. It feels like real leather upholstery. It's very cool, and I hope that Yoda looks really good sitting in here because I'm actually really excited to have a prop like this in the collection. Of course, being Yoda, you're going to get some great accessories for the prequel era, one being his signature cane that he carries around a lot. This is just done in some brown plastic here, and it's got some nice sculpted detail. It's got a little ball at the top to help him hold on to it. Still an accurate detail to the movies, but yeah, exciting that they added this accessory. And another huge thing that they should always be doing in this line, and I wish they would do more, is giving you two options for your lightsaber. They give you just the hilt and then the lightsaber blade on with the hilt. Both of the hilts have amazing paint applications, lots of silver and black going on here. And then of course this one here, unlike with most lightsabers in the Black series, you're not going to get a removable blade here, and that's great, especially with the smaller lightsaber. I think that the green is done in a really nice shade as well, very vibrant, and it's a nice translucent shade. Now moving on to Commander Gree, you're going to have two blasters that come with pretty much every clone trooper in the Black series. The first one is the DC-15 blaster rifle, just done in some gunmetal gray sculpt, and it's pretty much the same as every other DC-15 blaster rifle that comes out. And then of course you also get the DC-15S, or the DC-15A as it's sometimes called. Again, same sculpt color, same sculpted details you guys are used to by now. Nothing new in the way of this accessory. Now, let's take a look at these figures. We're going to set Commander Gree off to the side. We're going to take a look at Yoda here first. So this version of Yoda has a very happy expression. And again, all the same paint applications that I was raving about on the other head option go for this one as well. You got the wispy hair, the wash on top of the head, the eyes are painted phenomenally. Everything looks really, really good on this face. The brown bodysuit of the figure is pretty plain. There are no paint applications or washes attached to that. However, he does have his fingernails and his toenails painted for some extra detail there, and the skin is sculpted extremely well. They've done a really good job bringing out some detail in Yoda's face here. That's the thing I can't get over. And I really also like how the soft goods cloak lays. They have stitched the hood down to kind of help with it laying, and I love the way that it kind of folds over itself. Everything looks really good. It doesn't look too big for the figure. I'm very happy about this accessory. You can obviously shed the cloak if you so choose, and that's very easy to do. You just put the figure's arms behind him and you can cast the cloak away. And this is what Yoda looks like without the outer cloak on. We do see him like this in Revenge of the Sith after Palpatine kind of knocks him off in the Senate room. But yeah, pretty plain. Other than that, it's just, you know, the little bodysuit and the brown here. Checking out Yoda's articulation real quick. He does seem to have a ball joint at the neck here, and I can kind of tell where that head kind of separates at the bottom of the neck. He can look down a little bit. He can look up a little bit as well. He's got some good tilt here, and then also he's got some left and some right. At the shoulders, no butterfly joint. That should not be a surprise with how small this character is. He does have a hinge and swivel, however, so you do get that hinge about 90 degrees and a full 360 degree swivel. He's got single jointed elbows that are going to get you about 90 degrees of bend. Those do have a swivel at the top there. And then he also has some, these look like hinge and swivels maybe? Yes, hinge and swivels at the wrist. So you're going to get a vertical hinge at the right wrist here with the swivel, and another vertical hinge at the left wrist too. He has some ball joints at the hips, which give you some pretty nice range of motion. And he's also got some single jointed knees, which are going to get you actually past that 90 degree mark, which is great. Another swivel there at the top of the knee. And then he's also got, these look like little ball joints down here at the feet. However, they are actually hinge and swivels. So you've got the forward hinge there, and then of course the swivel, which would technically be a forward-facing pin for rocker. So that's pretty good articulation for a figure this small. I'm very excited about that. And now let's check out Commander Gree next. So setting our naked Yoda off to the side here, we're going to check out Commander Gree. Now, I was actually a little upset when I first opened this guy. Reason being for that is because if you look at this right piece of shoulder armor here, it looks extremely, extremely bad. I thought that the way that it came out of the box was like this, so I thought that the paint application was extremely crooked. However, come to find out, it's just that the shoulder armor is extremely warped from the way that it sat in the plastic and the packaging. So I'm gonna have to kind of reshape that, but if you look here, once I get it reshapen, it's gonna sit perfectly and it's gonna be nice and even and flush with the rest of the green stripes. I didn't really have that issue. This left shoulder armor is also a little bit warped, but nowhere near as bad as the right one is. But it's something that is easily fixed, and I do appreciate these softer overlays that they use, just because it helps a lot with the shoulder articulation and help those shoulders look a little bit beefier. This is essentially the 2023 Phase 2 Clone Trooper body, so if you're looking for kind of a similar figure to base this off of, that's essentially what this is. However, this guy has a newer helmet here, and it is updated so that it is just a little bit more accurate to what we see in Revenge of the Sith, however still being a bit large as it is a removable helmet. Other than that though, this guy's got some great paint applications. He's got the black brow painted on, I always love that. The teeth on the grill right here are, as well as the chin filters, are painted as well. The blue lines here on the sides of the helmet are painted, and he's got all those green stripes that signify that 41st Elite Corps unit, and he's got some paint applications on the back as well. Underneath the helmet, which is not removable, there is a flesh-toned color head just sitting under there in case you would like to remove it and paint your own Commander Gree head down there. You do have the rubbery overlay for the chest armor here, as well as the O-ring system for the shoulder armor, which, like I said, is very warped in my case. Some very nice paint applications again on the arms, and then on the midsection too, you can see that it's got nice paint applications that go all the way around. Everything looks really nice. Nothing's really crooked really terribly or anything like that. And then of course the thighs are done completely in green, and aside from that, I mean, you got the soles that are painted. Nothing else as far as paint applications go. We've seen clone troopers plenty of times now in the Black Series on the 2023 body. They're very welcome additions, and something I always want to point out too, the knee armor is loose, and I love that. It helps you get some great articulation and some great looking poses out of these guys with the knee armor being movable and being a loose overlay. Covering articulation for Commander Gree, he's going to have a barbell joint at that neck there, so he's going to get tons of movement. You can get some down out of that neck, you can get some up, maybe just a little bit. You can get some tilt, which is great, and you can get that right and left. At the shoulders, he does have butterfly joints, which, as you can see, are going to get you some really nice range there. He does also have that hinge and swivel we've come to love, so you can actually get those shoulders up past that 90-degree mark, as well as a 360-degree swivel. For the sake of not stressing those O-rings on the shoulder armor pieces, definitely just bring the shoulder armor with the arm if you're swiveling it that full 360 degrees, because you can swivel it independently. He does also feature bicep swivel, which is really nice, as well as some deep cut single jointed elbows. Just be wary if you really start bending those elbows, the rubbery piece of the strap of the elbow armor is going to kind of get cut inside of that elbow joint there, so just be wary of that. And then down here at the wrists, he does have hinge and swivels, so he's got a vertical hinge at the right wrist and then a horizontal hinge at the left wrist. And something else I just love about the 2023 Clone Trooper sculpt is that he has a trigger finger in both hands. And then of course he does have a ball joint at the midsection here, which is going to give you some great range. He's got ball joints at the hips, which are also going to give you some really nice range there. He does have a cut 4 thigh swivel, which is hidden underneath that thigh armor. He has some deep cut single jointed knees, which are going to get you past the 90-degree mark, just barely, depending on where you put that knee armor. There is also a swivel at the top of the knee there. And then at the bottom, of course, he does have a forward-facing pin for rocker, as well as a hinge, which is going to get you a little bit of forward and a little bit of back. So overall, if you have any troopers that are on the 2023 Clone Trooper sculpt, that's what you can expect from this guy. And I actually really like the striking green on him. I think he looks great. Let's get these guys kitted out with some accessories here so we can get them posed up. Getting Yoda's robes back on, again, it's just as easy as getting them off. You just stick the character's arms behind his back and you'll be able to get these robes on with little to no issues at all. You may just have to kind of stretch around, play around with the material a little bit. It does help out with the stretchiness of the material. You're not going to have many issues with it ripping. Just make sure not to be too rough with it. The first thing I want to try is getting Yoda into the Jedi Council chair. So what I've heard from people is that you kind of take one leg, you bend it all the way in, and then you kind of just stick the other leg out. But what I was also maybe thinking of doing is kind of bringing the hips out here and bending the knees in and having him sit kind of like this, or maybe even kind of putting one leg over the other. I saw people doing that as well. I actually love the way that this looks on the Jedi Council chair. You can see he sits there very comfortably. It doesn't look out of place at all, and I love the look of this. So having Yoda in the Jedi Council chair, ready for a meeting, ready to let someone have it. A Jedi who did not follow the codes about to find out from Yoda. Swapping the heads is pretty easy as well. All you do is just pull. It doesn't take much effort at all to remove one head, and then now we'll replace it with the much angrier, much more prequel head. This is when I think prequels. This is what I think of. I think of this angry expression on Yoda. It just looks so good. Putting the cane in Yoda's hand is pretty easy to do. It kind of just sits in there. Don't expect a good grip on it or anything. However, I'm trying to just get it into a nice pose here. You can get it into a pretty good pose. I mean, this pose here, see if you can see it on screen, looks pretty good. I think this is a really nice pose. I'm happy with this. This Yoda is fantastic. As someone who's never had a prequel Yoda in my collection, this is amazing. Putting the lightsaber hilt in Yoda's hand is very easy to do. You just kind of squeeze it into the hand there, and the grip on the hand is very nice. Passes the shake test. You're not going to have any issues with the lightsaber hilt in hand. But obviously in our case, this is prequel Yoda. We want him to be holding his lightsaber, getting ready for a lightsaber duel. This looks awesome. I'm super excited for this right here. Setting Yoda off to the side in a pose here. Let's get Commander Gree with his blasters in hand. So obviously with the DC-15A, you're going to get that into the right hand very easily. A nice firm grip there. Shake that around. It's not going to go anywhere. Which is going to kick us off with our first pair of poses here. These guys look fantastic together. I'm immediately satisfied with this set, and especially this Yoda. He really is the star of the show, but the Clone Trooper is just amazing as well. I love a unique look for a Clone Trooper in the Black Series. And again here, just another set of dynamic poses for these guys. I love that the knee armor is a loose piece on these figures with these new Clone Troopers. They just look so good, and I love the dynamic poses I'm able to get with Yoda. I've got a mid-stride here, hanging out with Commander Gree. These guys look awesome together. And obviously, just like the DC-15A, Commander Gree can also hold the DC-15 in a one-handed pose here. Shake test, very passable, and you can also get this guy into a nice two-handed pose with this blaster as well. And here they are, both in some really nice one-legged running poses. These guys are amazing. I think this is some of the best the Black Series has to offer here in the 2024 releases, so I can only imagine now that we're in 2025 what we're going to be getting with these guys. And here is a comparison between the Commander Gree that we are reviewing today, and on the left we have the original release of Commander Gree from the 2013 Clone Trooper body sculpt, and we have come leaps and bounds since the original Clone Troopers. I think there's give and take here. I do like the way the helmets look on the 2013 Clone Trooper. However, I think as far as action figures go, I like the new one more because it's so much more posable, and side by side these guys actually look really cool together regardless. And that about wraps it up for this review, guys. This is a pack you should definitely get. The Yoda is blowing me out of the water right now. I think this actually might be one of my favorite figures from 2024. It's too bad I didn't get the chance to review it until after 2024 was over. As far as the Commander Gree goes, any Clone Trooper is a welcome addition to the collection. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan, so I'll take any obscure Clone Trooper that I can get. And with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. Make sure to check out my social media, all of which is linked in the description below. If you would like to see some of my action figure reviews early, make sure to check out my channel membership, Rancor Battalion. Link for that is in the description as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.